Hello, we have our first visitor for tonight, and we have Ethan. How are you tonight, Ethan? And we have our dear and lovely Sophie here as well. Welcome. 2 viewers already. I'm happy to have you both here. I don't believe I've seen Ethan here before. You're most welcome as well. I should have been streaming yesterday, but unfortunately I was collapsing due to a migraine. But I'm happy to be here again. And I was thinking that we're going to continue what we started 2 days ago. Namely, these 2 fine little Vostroyans we've been working on. And we had a great stream, really. We had so many friends of mine, and we had the famous Mishmash coming and do us company. It was great, really. Sort of really nice mood in the chat. All were just vibing together. Yeah, it felt great. So, how are you tonight, everyone? Looking forward to your weekend? Ah, painting. That's great. Are you painting anything fun, I hope? Well, let's get right through it then. Hello, hello. Now, as you remember, we had these cool little guys we built. So first of all, we have this female firstborn. And of course, female firstborn Vostroyans are pretty rare. So I wanted to have one of my own after reading the great story Firstborn Daughter. And then of course we have this other little guy with a cool fancy mustache. It was really fun building these. I can't wait to finish them. So I was thinking that maybe we could start with the sitting guy. Going to zoom in a little bit here. Is that good? Great. So let me know if you can't hear me or if the picture is wonky, and I'll do my best to fix it. So first of all, unfortunately we need to trim his beautiful top knot because we're going to sculpt a nice what do you call it? A bear hat? Bear fur hat. And I realized I left my nippers back at my other desk. So I'll be right back. Very unprofessional of me. I apologize. So, Sophie, yes, I absolutely love the mustache and the little beard knot he has. And I hope I get to paint them, or else I'm going to hand them over to a friend of mine. But as for now, I really playing around with the idea I'm going to paint them myself. Now, as much as I like the top knot, as I said, we're going to have to clip it off. Rest in peace, you beautiful top knot. Going to trim down the side of his head as well, so the hat won't look too puffy. Trim down a little piece of the scalp here, so get a nice surface to work on. There we go. Now, I was thinking that we're going to put some cool accessories on him before we start with the sculpting. So, let's see what I have in my goodie bag. Yeah, little top knot. Unfortunately, it had to be trimmed away. We got some. No, I don't think we use those. Here we have some cool parts we're definitely going to be using, because the Vostroyans are well known for their feather ornaments they have in their bearskin hats as well. So we might give this guy a bearskin hat as well. I tried to mix it up a bit so not everyone looks the same. Someone has the feather on the right side, someone has the feather on the left side. A few of them don't have one at all, but they have other accessories. Now, look at these. All cool little things. But I think we're going to give him a holstered little sword, I think. Because the Cossacks were famous for having their sabers. And I think we're going to give this guy one as well. So we only really need this handle. Hello, Mary. Welcome. Nice to have you with us. Yeah, I think we start with that for now. Let's put these aside. How are we doing tonight, Mary? Right, it's afternoon in America. I'm sorry. It's hard to keep track on everything. Now, what could we give this guy? Definitely want to give him a holster where he can carry his sword. No, not that really. No. Okay, this could work. Gonna have it on the side. Like so, maybe. In this holster. Ah, it's Hiroshima. I'm so sorry, Hiroshima. It happens to the best of us, don't you worry. Let's see. Of course, for my sorting, this is my little box I have for knives and such. This might work. I don't want the knife like jabbing him in the foot or anything. But I think that could work. It's got a spare magazine, a water canteen, and a bayonet we can do some adjustments to, giving it a cool handle. That's our best pick so far, and this one I think. I want it to look functional, you know. I think that's one of my things I can give when it comes to kit bashing and creating your own figures, is to keep it functional. And we have Nads here as well. Welcome, Nads. So yeah, to keep it functional, I like to have the bits being like, okay, this is useful. It's more important to like have bits that looks useful or practical rather than interesting, I think. You can leave the interesting bits for like fancy characters, but when it comes to the little guys, I like to keep it functional. But of course, it's all depending what you're aiming for. But I like to keep it practical. Kind of like this holster too, but the big bayonet is at the opposite side. So I think I might gonna have to do some surgery. Or no, you know what? We're getting this. We're keeping this sword. So when it comes to making these swords, I like to keep the handle and just steal these little guards, as you can see here. So we're going to clip it off really, really carefully. Like so. And like so. Gonna bend it off a little bit. I have so many spare of these arms that have this cool little handguard. Beautiful bit, but I have no needs for it besides these little tiny, tiny plastic. And now we've got to be really careful here. You know how famous I am for dropping bits on the floor, and I want to try to avoid it for once. Oh, got some connecting point here we're gonna trim off. Just a teeny tiny bit. There we go. And some glue on the opposite side as well. Gonna be really delicate here. Teeny tiny bit more glue. My sticky fingers got in the way. There we go. There we go. Nice and easy. Gonna add a bit more glue to get a firm connecting point, and it helps us melt the plastic a bit. What do you think? There we go. There, I think that looks neat. I was building some models today, other little models, and I accidentally spilled half a bottle of glue on my table, and God, it smells so strong. It's like 50% acetone in this, and if you know how bad acetone can smell, imagine my whole apartment smelling like that. Hey Fungi, welcome. Wow, we're so many tonight. How are you doing, Fungi? Now, as you can see here, this frame, these beautiful horse models. This is where I take the torsos from, actually. And I haven't built a single horse yet. I'm tempted, but that's for another future project. Oh, that's cool. You have to share some pictures of your orcs later. So, and as you can see here, we have this little slot on his back, and that's the intent to put a little pouch of some sort. Got one with a little looking glass, or binoculars, I think it's called. No deer. Ah, we can use this maybe. Should we go with the binoculars or should we go with the pouches and canteen? Oh, we got some grenades here as well. And some more pouches and grenades as well. No spare magazine. That one guy. Oh. Welcome, that one guy. Is it the first time you're hanging here? Oh yeah, Nads. Fine fancy horses. Oh yeah, the new sprues are beautiful. So many fine details. So what do you guys think? Should we go with binoculars, water canteen, or some grenades and pouches? What do you think? Oh, you were here earlier this stream, but not Mimi. Oh, I see. A persona. Another nickname. And that one guy and Fungi, you say grenades. Okay, we have a decision. So let's take this one. I think that could be cool. There we go. I wasn't sure about the binoculars myself, since he's not a spotter or a sniper guy, but who knows? Okay, let's see how that fits. Can you guys see clearly, by the way? I think this piece is meant for to go on the front. So let's take another pair. Oh yeah, these are okay. Glad you can see, because these guys have slots on their front as well, but since we have these guys like aiming and shooting, we're gonna leave that open as we can't fit anything, fortunately. There, clear that up. Here goes nothing. Perfect fit. A perfect fit. These are 40k horses, yes, but they're not Krieg, they are Attilan Rough Riders. Game Workshop released a kit of new Attilan Rough Riders just last year. And of course, since I'm one of those crazy people, I cannot build the intended kit. I need to take the pieces for myself and create something original of it. Yeah, incredible, huh? Now, remember when we scraped off all these wrappings on the boot? We're gonna take some glue and clear that up now, so we get a nice flat surface, because we're going to green stuff some fur on these boots actually. And the other leg won't be visible, fortunately, but at least we got one. So let's take his sword thing and attach it to his left side. Small dab of glue just to get a nice connecting surface, and attach it like so. Oh, a bit fiddly. There we go. So since it's bending, I'm thinking that the knife is slightly raised a little bit. Bit more glue here. Really like the look of this guy. So while we wait for him to dry, let's get our other guy, or rather girl. Here we have the firstborn daughter. I was toying around with the idea of maybe giving her a bayonet, but I kind of like the look without it. So we're just gonna give her some pouch on the back, just beneath her ponytail, and some other accessories. Maybe she could get a canteen. Just looking at the spruce here. Where is that bit? Got this grenade here as well. That will work. The options. You know what? Let's go with the other pouches and grenades. And we can give her a canteen on her hips instead. Because I got a really cool little bit I want to use for that. Removing the connecting points. There. And gonna raise her ponytail just ever so slightly. There. One tiny drop of glue. It's always hard for me to find guardsman kits in the store. Everyone wants Space Marines. Yeah, they are the best sellers after all. I really want to encourage like the local stores, your average friendly game stores, but finding the kits you want can be really tricky sometimes. Good thing they can order it for you, but you just really want that kit like now, you know? And then you go home disappointed and buy it online anyway. Now this is... don't like the look of that. Looks too big. Let's try the binoculars instead. Oh, no, we had a canteen here. Yeah, let's go with a small canteen instead. Hello and welcome. How are you doing? Is it the first time you're visiting my stream? I saw you in Abba's stream plenty of times. There we go. There we go. The ponytail is resting on top of it. It's good that we get some support from it actually, so we don't have to worry about it snipping off during transport or something. A happy little accident. There we go. Now, gonna give her a cool sword as well. So we're gonna go back to take one of these cool little arms again. And gently trim off the handguard. Like so. And so. Let's keep that for side for now. Oh, there we go. And I think I want to use this part for this actually. It won't fit. That's a shame. No. What to choose? She already got a canteen, so getting her another canteen might look weird, you know? maybe we just give her a shouldered knife instead, but another little brand of it. So let's trim off these canteen. Oh yeah, Fungi, this is my all-time favorite tool, the God Hand nipper, SPN 120. The best nippers I ever had. My third pair. First pair I cut to thick plastic, and the other time I cut to thick plastic, and I was really sad that time, and I'm so grateful that Nads and Amma stepped in and sponsored me with a new one. Thank you so much once again, guys. I know I say it to almost every stream, but I'm so happy. I'm privileged to have as generous friends as you. Thank you so much. Let's see how this fits. Hello, Hiroshima. How's the work going? Going good? Well, if I'm stuck with you guys, then I'm truly happy. I'd rather be stuck with you than sick with you. Now I'm gonna trim off a little piece here. And let's attach just a little dab of glue here. And see how it goes. Now, since these guys have in the lore that the weapons are all handcrafted and everything, I'm thinking they spend a lot of time crafting their bayonets and knives and whatever. And maybe they've been handed down from father to son through the generations. Who knows? I'm gonna trim this part a bit more. Just a tiny bit. There we go. More glue here. Perfect. Nice little handle. And as you can see, this plastic has a lighter color to it. It's because this little bit is older. And for some reason, the plastic were another color before. I don't know why really. Maybe they switched to another brand or just added some pigments to it. But it works just the same. With the modern plastic, and the glue still works. Smoothen it out a bit. Thank you, Fungi. I have many years of practice behind me. You should see all my failed conversions of kit bashes. It's all training and practice. I have many failed models, or just models I wasn't satisfied with really. But it's all about it's all learning. That's the most important thing. As long as you learn, then it doesn't really matter. I think we're going to attach it to her left side as well. There we go. Now since she's running, I'm imagining it flows a bit backwards, like that. What do you guys think? Smoothing out this part that we trimmed off the canteen. Oh, thank you, Hiroshima. It's not talent, it's just practice. Anyone can do this. And if you want to learn like how to get into miniature building or especially kit bashing, I'm more than happy to help you guys. There we go. Now we're gonna leave her aside for a bit. Oh yeah, we're gonna get the glue and smoothen out her boots as well. Because as I said before in the beginning of the stream, for those who weren't here, we are going to green stuff some fur around her boots. Yes, I've been looking at the official models for the Vostroyans, and they have little fur trims on them. They have some fur trims around their wrist as well. So I was thinking that that's what we're gonna do tonight. But first, we'll leave her to dry. Won't be needing this glue for a bit. So let's go back to our mustachio friend here. As we did before, we've been trimming off parts of his head to give us a nice surface to sculpt on. Because all this will be covered underneath the green stuff. And if we're making the hat way too big, it looks really silly. And we want a good surface to attach the green stuff to. So I'm just evening it out a bit. Like so. There we go. Won't be needing this for now. Since this guy has a really cool fancy mustache and everything, I think we're gonna skip on the feather actually, and just give him a little imperial aquila in his forehead instead. Just so we can focus on stuff like his fancy beard instead. We don't want to draw attention away from it. So of course we got our green stuff here. Gonna take up our row. I think we're gonna start with the hat, and then we move towards the wrist and everything later. Speaking of wrist, I'm probably gonna need to adjust this later. Anyway, let's unpack our green stuff. We're gonna take our scalpel. We don't need as much green stuff for this really. It's really looking, it's almost a bit too big just take a bit of it. So we're just gonna take a teeny tiny amount like so, and then mix it with the hardener. Oh, that one flew away. I have no idea where that went. Rest in peace. Gonna wet our fingers here just to get a better grip on it. Like so. Maybe a bit more. I think you're gonna take a bit more of this yellow stuff too. Gonna put this aside so it won't dry. Smells really funky. Okay, so what I like to do is just roll these into little snakes, like so. Then take the other one, roll it as well, and now I just entwine these, like so, and bake it together. This is actually too little. We're gonna need some more. It's not a professional stream, Victoria. You don't even know how much green stuff you're going to use. Like so. And a bit more of the hardener. There we go. Let's see how this goes. We can always go back to take more if we need. Gonna wet my fingers a bit. Gonna really bake it, like a snooze almost. You guys know how much I like my snooze. My snooze is pre-packaged, by the way, so I don't get to bake mine. But if it's like anything like baking green stuff, I have no fear. Bit more actually. So what are your guys' plans for the weekend? Do you have anything fun planned? Do you still have tobacco plugs in Sweden? Looks like this. Here's my little pouches I stick underneath my lips. I don't know if you call it tobacco plugs. Prilla is the correct word in Swedish. But the English, I have no idea actually. Pouch maybe? All I know that the nicotine and caffeine helps me keep my hands still. Now, if you don't consume nicotine or caffeine, I hope you have steady hands or learn to cope with it. I have a friend who has really shaky hands, but she has adapted into it, and she's a great painter despite her shaky hands. So it doesn't limit her or anything. Just how she works. It's an old-fashioned way. You could stick them in your nose or your ear too. You stick tobacco plugs in your ears. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, your nose, you have like the mucous membranes. But ear, God. Nads, what's the tobacco stuff you sniff again? It's snuff, I believe. There we go. Now we got a nice green color to it. So let's stick this onto him. Probably made too much now. Yep, made a bit too much. You can always remove it, doesn't matter. Bake it a bit. Like so. Gonna give it some shape. It looks like a good place to start. Okay, so let's take a toothpick. Toothpicks and knife and maybe some of these silicone brushes is all I really use for sculpting. And water. My friend who taught me, he only uses toothpicks, but he uses like lotion instead of water as a medium to make the toothpick stick less, but I prefer water. Some people use saliva as their magic medium, but I actually tried saliva, but I found it too gross. And they lick their brush or toothpick and everything, but you really shouldn't lick green stuff or anything because it contains bisphenol A, which is the same thing you have in your receipts and fax machine paper, and it's a hormone disruptor, which of course isn't good. Just rolling it down a bit to give it a good cover. Since the fur is organic, it can slouch down a bit if you want to, and maybe look a bit uneven, so I'm thinking we're gonna roll this aside to make it look a bit slouchy. Gonna put in some creases here, make it slouch down a bit on the side. Maybe it's a bad quality fur hat. I think that looks good. Hormone disruptors. Delicious, huh? Really good for your endocrine system. What do you guys think? Should we keep it slouching like this? Or should we keep it like not as top heavy? Or maybe a bit more even? What do you guys think? I kind of like this. It's like it's bent down. Maybe he dropped it. Okay, so now we're gonna make the fur texture. So all we're gonna do is start by making all these little dots all across. And and you see why when we have finished dotting it up. Because this isn't the finished texture or anything, this is just something we can go with later when we are making the strands of fur with our knife. And I'm gonna take off my glasses actually, so I can get a better look at this. Let's adjust the sharpness. Oh, that's the zoom. I'll put on my glasses. There we go, perfect. Gonna go back to making the little dots. I'm sure there are tons of ways to making the fur, but and if you have any other suggestions on how to sculpt fur, I'll be more than happy to hear. Always looking to improve my hobby. Doesn't matter if it's like completely straight or anything, because we're gonna sort of pull these holes apart and together to create that beautiful fur strands later. Don't forget the top. This is the good thing being nearsighted, you know, because your eyes pretty much is its own magnifying glass. There we go. Oh, I have some chat messages. Thank you, Neds. Now, let's get our scalp. You want to make it look like organic, so like the fur strands doesn't have to be even or anything. Just continue in your own pace. Make it look random. Maybe a little hair strand down on this collar. It was really funny to watch the official sculpts from the official models, and I have to say it was really fun to compare the official sculpts to mine, to see that the original sculptor had used a different technique than me. But I think I had made a fairly similar result actually. Different style, but a similar result. But this is my take on the Vostroyans really, so it's my interpretation of the lore and the models themselves. So even if they don't look exactly like the official models, this is still my models, you know? This is the best I could do. And I mean, as long as you learn, because that's the most important thing. As long as you keep learning, keep doing what you love, there's no shame in it. And as you can see, when I'm pulling these little holes apart or push them together, these little strands pop out. And of course my friend Rickard, who taught me this, he's a real Renaissance man. And he hates it when I call him that, but he's self-taught in so many different like crafts and everything. He's a great drawer, like he can draw really good, and he's a great sculptor and a really good craftsman overall. Super creative guy, and he's not afraid of trying out new techniques or anything. And he actually made a cosplay from the game Deep Rock Galactic, and it was so good that even the developers of the game like, whoa, this is great. But he's really humble all about it. He never brags or anything, but he's always happy to teach and help people learn new techniques and try new things. Great guy, really. Tiny amount of water. There we go. Gonna try smoothing it out a bit with my silicone brush. Just drawing it down. Trying to enhance this little crease. Just pushing it really, really lightly. There we go. Gonna try work some strands of fur here on the top that's slouching down without destroying the little crease we worked so hard to achieve. I really want to give you guys a side-by-side comparison later when I show you the official models next to mine. It would be a fun comparison to compare how close I was to the originals. That'd be fun. Gonna lift up the hat a little bit across his face so it doesn't cover his eyes. Of course I could leave it just doing the dots, and everything, but it gives it a more curly fur. Like it's almost sheep wool or something, and that's not really the look I'm going for. I think I'm gonna settle with that. Put on my glasses again. Fungi, I'm not as good at sculpting, but I have supplies to start trying. That's great. That's great. You should just start, really. Just give it a try. Are you gonna paint this to yourself, Nads ask? I'm thinking I might. Not sure really if I'm gonna hand this over to a friend or not. I have to see how brave I become. But yeah, it would be really fun to paint this since I worked so hard on them. We'll see how it goes. I'm happy how this turned out. So now we're gonna take our leftover green stuff here and we're gonna make a little snake of it and attach it to his boot. Really thin little snake. I never done this before, so you'll guys be the first to see. Cut it off in the middle. And just put it on top of his boot. Ooh. Some water. As I said, I've never done this before, so it's a bit of an experiment. See how it goes. Like so. I'll take our silicone brush to smoothen it out and pull it inwards the coat. Sorry for being so silent, I'm just really focused. There, let's try. Let's try. Taking off my glasses again. Let's make some texture. The good thing about green stuff, when it's still like malleable, it sticks really well to the plastic. So you don't need to use like glue on it later. It will stick just fine the way it is. Of course you could glue it later if you want, but it's not necessary. Maybe I made it too thin. We'll see. Push it down to the plastic. Oops. Tore some of it off. Oh. Gonna wet my toothpick to give it some grip. Don't want it to stick to the toothpick. We want to use it to push it in. It's really tricky. Maybe I should have done it before I glued this little guy to the base. But we have to work with what we have. There we go. Let's go back to our scalpel. See if we should make some strands here as well, or maybe we should keep it a bit curlier. We'll see how it goes. It's not bad actually. Not bad at all. There we go. Looks neat. Let's see if we can add some fur to the wrist as well. What do you guys think? Should we add some fur there, or should we just keep it around the boots? One thing I'm going to do though, it's take some of this green stuff and reinforce his wrists, because that looks really weak. Just gonna need half of it. like the fur-lined boots. Have you ever done fur cuffs for a jacket? No, I haven't. But I'm thinking if I should do something like that. What do you guys think? Do we dare to try it? I'm thinking that maybe the fur cuff should be around this part rather than keeping at the wrist, because this coat is just how do you say it? It's folded back, so it would make sense if we keep the fur here maybe. What do you guys think? Gonna keep fixing this little fur until I hear an answer. I could go like the way it is. It doesn't really matter to me. All I was like wanted was the boots really at the beginning of the stream. But if my chat say different, you know, you guys always have great ideas and suggestions, and I value your opinion. Just let me know and we do it. Sometimes less is more, you know. I'm really happy how this fur hat turned out actually. I like that it slouches. Gives it a nice organic look to it. I think we're gonna... I said I wasn't going to add a feather, but I think we're gonna add a feather on his right side. What do you guys think? So I got this good little bit here for some feathers. Just gonna stick it in like so. There we go. Oh, that nailed it. That's perfect. Oh, that's good. That's great. Oh, that's complete the look. I like that. That looks really good. Yeah, I'm so happy right now. It's turned out great. It's gonna adjust some strands of hair here. Just really neatly and careful. That's a good thing about green stuff, you know, you can always go, you have some time to fix and adjust it before it hardens completely. So no rush. Are you gonna call him macaroni? I don't know. I don't understand. Vostroyan firstborn Doodle went down riding a pony. No, I don't understand. Maybe that's an American thing. I don't get. I'm a stupid Swedish person. I don't know these things. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to our other gal. I think I'm gonna go back to scraping some of her wrappings of her boots. It's a bit too visible. It's a song called Yankee Doodle. Oh, I have to look that up. I know what a Yankee is. It's like a slang for an American, particularly a northern state American, if I remember correctly. Let's try smoothing it out with glue again. It's a song about a guy who puts a feather in his hat and calls it macaroni. The feather or the hat. Yankee's not allowed to pack pincata sauce. It says so in the commercial. Oh, so it's a commercial jingle? Or is it like a folklore song? Okay, so now we're gonna trim off some pieces from, it's an old-timey song. I have to look it up later. I like songs like that. It tells a lot about the country's culture. Now we're gonna trim off some pieces of her helmet to make the her hat not look like crazy stupid. Because if we sculpt on the outside of this, it looks like her head is huge. I think I want to name this gal, since we already had a Nathalie, we're going to name this girl Sophia, after my dear friend. What's Pace Picante sauce, by the way? Is it good, or why do you hate it, Nads? Is it a spicy sauce? This guy's helmet is really big. I think I'm gonna have to take my nippers to trim off the top of it. Because she can't really wear a helmet underneath her hat, you know? Crazy. No, it's watered down salsa. Yuck. Spicy for the unused, not used to eat the spicy food, maybe. We have a really good, like, South American restaurant here in my city. It's absolutely delicious. They have great fish tacos and everything. We Swedes, we love our tacos. Believe it or not, we are a taco eating nation. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Just gonna trim off a piece of her neck here. Want this to look like her ponytail is sticking out from the end. So I was thinking maybe sculpt it so it looks like the hat is slouching over it. We'll see how it goes. There we go. I don't think this will be enough, really. Nope, it's too little. And I don't think the boots have fully dried yet from the glue. So we're gonna put that aside for now. Oh, explain that. That's why are you super dumb? You make jokes no one gets? Or is it just mind ghosts that bothering you? I think I'm gonna refrain from cutting pieces of green stuff. I'm just gonna pull and sort of get a feel for it on how much I need to take. Let's go back to making little snakes. Dip our fingers in the water. You don't feel like yourself. Oh, that's sad. You want to talk about it? Isn't this a high quality stream? watching me bake a tiny amount of putty. If I was a real YouTuber, I would just edit this out. Just have like 1 second. Oh, now I start rolling. And then we're back to sculpting it instead. And I'm doing it in ultra rapid or something. Let's take this other piece and bake it in as well. Of course. When you want to talk about it, I'm here for you. You're a treasured friend, and if I can just be there and listen, I'm your gal. Oh, that's nice. You like to watch me bake putty. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like watch me bake putty. Put our little god hand back in the pouch. I'm super paranoid about it. I'm like so careful having it around, always putting it back and keeping it away from water and everything, just being so neatly and tight with it. There, I think we have a cohescent piece of green stuff now. Starting to dry up, I feel. Let's see if this is enough. Can still see some blue in it. Let's go back baking it. Are you guys excited for a new June movie, by the way? I'm so pumped up for it. I can't wait. I'm a big fan of the book series, and when I saw the first movie, I was completely blown away from how accurate it was and everything. And of course, it's a movie, so they have to take their liberties, making it flow better and everything. But that's definitely the best adaptation of the book I've seen. And I'm really looking forward to the second part. I'm gonna try go to the cinema this Sunday. And I only heard good things about the new movie, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm not a paid sponsor, by the way. I'm just a fan of movies. There we go. Let's try just push it down. Looks like a good amount, actually. First time I bake enough, just a perfect amount. But of course it has its drawbacks, of course. Now we're gonna make a tiny piece for the fur lining later. Okay. So I'm gonna take off my glasses again so I can get a nice looking glass. What do you say? Not looking glass. Magnifier. God bless the nearsighted, for we shall inherit the earth. Or something. Just gonna keep rolling like so. Get a nice shape to it. And as I said, I want it to look like it's pulled up a bit for a ponytail. So I think we're gonna use the same technique we use for the slouching, but we're gonna sort of move backwards, I guess, to make it stick up instead. Just to give it a nice little crease. Now I think I actually used a bit too much green stuff. Gonna trim off a little piece. Like so. Let's see if that's enough. Oh, we got some plastic shavings. There. And this is why I wanted to trim off as much of the helmet as I could, because you can definitely tell when a person is wearing something underneath it. It would all looks like she's just wearing a helmet over her helmet, you know. I'm gonna roll this up a bit. Get a good shape of it. Be slightly taller this way, but at least the sides will look good. Make sure not to cover her face. Alright, I think I'm gonna take a little piece, remove a little piece from it again. I made one figure with way too big hat, and it didn't look good at all. But I'm playing it off as something like he wasn't a good hat maker, so it looked wonky on him. But as I said, it's all a learning process. We do mistakes today so we can improve tomorrow. Oh, got some. I don't know. Maybe still too much. I think I'm gonna take off a bigger piece. Like so. Let's see how the chat's going. Oh, Emma, welcome. Mads, I can't hack going to the theater much. I end up leaving for spoke half of it. Oh, I can imagine that. Funky, I wish I had something for my minis that were as universal as hat. And welcome once again, Emma. How are you doing this night? Or afternoon, rather, at your place? Happy to hear it. I hope you slept well. And today we are finishing the models we started on 2 days ago. I was supposed to stream yesterday, but I got a really bad migraine, so I spent the entirety of yesterday just in my bed with a wet towel on my eyes. But today I'm feeling much better. I've been away playing some Magic the Gathering with a few friends, and we're back streaming now. And here is the other guy we finished up earlier. As you can see, we made his hat slouch down a bit, and we gave his boots some nice fur trimming as well. And of course a little feather in his hat. And I got to learn about an American folklore song about a man sticking a feather in his hat and calling it macaroni. You live, you learn. Oh yeah, it's migraines. They suck. They suck. But you know, those are the cards I was dealt. Just gotta learn to live with it. I'm happy they are gone. Now I think finally we start getting some shape. I'm satisfied with this. Not too big, not too little. The Goldilocks zone. Yeah, you like it? Yeah, I think so too. It's like maybe it's wet or something. Maybe it's an old hat, just keeps slouching down. It gives them some character, you know? Looks like you could use my method to make orc helmets. Well, that's cool. I'm happy that you get to learn something. If you need any like tips or ideas on how to sculpt, just hit me up and I give my best. Gonna take a new toothpick. The other one has got a bit dull. And we need a sharp tip. Because now we're going to start dotting it out. I already made some dots here around the ponytail because I want it sort of to look raised over it rather than it lying flat. Makes it a bit more interesting to look at. Okay, let's start dotting it out. The beauty about the internet is really how much the hobby has evolved, because everyone is free to share like tutorials, know-hows, how you can improve your hobby, others' ideas and how they have done it. It's just endless possibilities to expand your own knowledge and methods, and as well get inspired by others. I think that's the main beauty of it. Just keep getting inspired. Because when, you know, I get hobby burned out, it happens to the best of us. When I want to get back in the game, so to say, I can always go online and look how other people have built something cool, or maybe they have started a new project I think is interesting. It gives you a great opportunity to like get that spark back. Find that passion again, because hobby burnouts happens to everyone. I mean, sometimes you just get sick of all the things you have done and you need to take a break. Happens to the best of us. There's no shame in that. Just need a rest from the hobby, that's all. I'm sporting the hair braid and hat. I don't see really. Let's see. You like it? Oh, I'm glad you do. Okay, let's take a knife here and sort of creating this little crease here to bend this part inward so it looks like it's leaning over the ponytail to create some gravity, you know, and making it look like there's something underneath it, not just lying flat. Building up a little mount there. Just keep pushing it to the center. Going back to creating the hair strands. I don't think we're gonna give this girl some feather or anything, but I want to give her an aquila in her forehead. I think that could be cool. The clay is really starting to cure now, I think. It's really stiff. Keep pushing in these little hat here to make a little crease. Like it's slowly bent, like it's tiny bending upwards. I wonder if there are any all-female guard regiments. You know, I think I read something about that in the kitbashed cane books. Like they're like almost like an regiment of Amazons, you know. Don't remember what they were called, but they are an all-female division. I mean, the galaxy is huge. And there's so many planets to keep track on. There's so many cultures popping out up from all years of isolation and time itself. I bet there are like thousands of female regiments and there are thousands of male-only regiments. But my headcanon, really why women aren't usually recruited into the Vostroyan firstborn and looked down upon is because they don't have any mustaches. They can't get cool mustaches like their male colleagues, you know? Well, what is this lady doing here? She doesn't have any fancy mustache like we guys do. No, I don't like this at all. That's my headcanon. It's all about vanity. Make them green fur mustaches. That'd be nice. Like they can have like those Groucho Marx mustaches and glasses. That's how they fit in. They get a prosthetic mustache. It's like part of the PPE, you know? Warning, protective mustache must be worn during operations. Yep, you gotta have a fake mustache or else you're out. Okay, so let's find a nice little aquila. And this teeny tiny bit, it's a nightmare to work with. But oh boy, is it satisfying when it's once in there. I don't think my camera can focus on this little part, even if I wanted it to. Just gonna be so careful cutting these. Gonna shave off the back as well. This is not even a millimeter big. It's crazy. I'm probably gonna cut myself now. But everything in the name of art. There. Gonna wet our toothpick to just, there we go. Oh, there. We're gonna just push it around a bit until we get it right where we want it to be. Now I'm probably gonna drop it on the floor and I'm gonna be so mad at myself for being so stupid. But let's do it. Do or die, aces high. Like Bruce Dickinson sang. What do you know? I didn't drop it. Not gonna jinx it, but I haven't dropped it yet. There, look at that. Excellent. Push up some green stuff. And downwards. To make it look like it's sitting on top of it and not like pushed in. Whew. That was tense. Might gonna have to reinforce this with super glue later when it is fully cured. But as for now, it seems to be sticking. There we go. Gonna push this green stuff up a bit so it won't slouch over her face. Use the back of my scalpel. Keep creating those strands of fur. But I want to look at, it should look organic, so no really straight lines or anything. Because fur doesn't look like that, or any hair for that matter. Just gonna keep pushing. I think we've got a nice little crease here around the ponytail too. Yeah, glad you like it, Hangi. I'm happy myself. There we go. Now we're just gonna finish up these hair strands before we move on to the boots. I'm gonna use my silicone brush here just to smoothen it out a bit. Got a bit too rough, I think. Just gonna smoothen it out just a little bit. there, I think we're done. What do you guys think? Should I keep making hair strands? I have a hard time, you know, putting it down. I always find little things to improve, you know. Thank you, Emma. Just a little smoothen. Maybe just poke it in a little bit here to enhance the little crease. Yeah, like so. Okay, that will do. Funky, very good. I hope you can show us some painted models someday. I want to see how the hats turn out. And Emma agrees. Yeah, I hope I can show them. And if you want to see like the color scheme I'm aiming for later, feel free to Google them. And if you think it looks good, or if I should change something, just let me know. I think I want to aim for like the official color scheme for the Vostroyans. I think they have this cool look to them that really sticks out from the other guard regiments. They look all fancy and everything. Okay, so let's go back to the fur trimming on the boots. Making a nice little snake. And I think we're gonna use the silicone brush. Not too much water. Gonna take off my glasses again. Don't worry, I'll let you guys know when I got them back on, so you can start typing. or rather, I can reply to all your messages. I'm blind as a bat without my glasses. And I can't even do echolocation. So I'm really blind as a bat. I mean, even those bats have fairly good eyesight, they can do echolocation. But I can't neither. I'd be the worst bat in the world. It's a tight squeeze here. So I don't think we need to sculpt it all the way back. We can get away with just sculpting on the front and on the side. Gonna push it in nice. To make it stick to the plastic. You guys heard any good music lately? I've been listening to a bunch of oldies lately. Going back to like classic metal. A lot of Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne, Led Zeppelin and such. Your typical dad rock. Gotta respect the classics, you know. I don't mind modern music. I'm not one of those people that say, oh, music was so much better in the day. No, I'm not that person at all. But I do like me some classics sometimes. Mr. Crowley, dun dun dun, could you talk to the dead? There we go. Got a nice little snake around. But I think I'm gonna remove it like so, just to get a better view on it. Okay. Let's start working it. Oh, it's really stiff at the moment. It's really starting to cure up. It really doesn't want to be worked on. It's too late to back now. Going back to our scalpel. See if we can make some tiny strands of fur. As much as I like the new sculpts of models and such, it's really fun going back and see the hand sculpted ones, because you can sort of put yourself in their position and try figuring out how they done it themselves. Another reason why I like movies with practical effects, because I like to try and imagine how they made them. Like, what technique did they use here? What material is it? Fun stuff like that, you know? I mean, sure, there's a lot of like work behind digital effects as well, but I mean, if it's done on a computer, it's done on a computer. There's no like experimental like methods they use to craft it themselves, like experimenting with different paints, materials and such. If it's done with a computer, it's done with a computer. It takes away a bit of the magic, I think. And I mean, I couldn't do those special effects in a computer or anything, but I could maybe do it practically, you know, and that's the charm to it. And especially B-movies, when it's all got this DIY look to it. How could I make my own B-movie? You can sit like in front of your TV or in the cinema just thinking, how could I have done it? How would I have done it? And that's the charm. I don't hate computer graphics or anything. I think they are really good. But it takes away a bit of the magic. Oh. Got some plastic shavings in the green stuff. Don't want that. This is really tricky right now. let's see how it goes. Sorry for being so quiet, it's just really focusing right now. Probably focusing so hard I'm gonna develop a new migraine. But let's cross that bridge once we get there. Let's go back to our silicone brush and squeeze it in. Okay. Oh, this is so tricky. I'm sorry in advance if you can't see anything. But this is just so small. Like so. Maybe we used a bit too much. I'm gonna shave off some. Just a teeny tiny bit. Remove a little bit. I don't want to make it look like too big because the other one was a bit too thin maybe. And I'm really happy how it turned out to look, so just I'm gonna shave down some bit here. Got it stuck on the... Ooh, almost dropped it. Got some stuck on the base here. Gonna try to wipe it off. There. Remove a little bit more. As I said before, I prefer water as my medium for sculpting. my good friend who taught me how to sculpt, he prefer using this alcohol-based lotion. So when it evaporates, it leaves the green stuff dried without being too like fatty. And some people like using their saliva, but said before, green stuff contains bisphenol A, which is the same material as in fax machine paper and receipt, and it's an endocrine disruptor, which is bad for your hormones. So you really don't want to get that stuff in your system. There. I'm gonna smoothen it out a bit with my silicone brush. All right, let's put on our glasses. Ooh. Oh, Blue Oyster Cult is coming there. I love Blue Oyster Cult. Blue Oyster Cult is my all-time favorite band. That's so cool. That's so cool. What color would the fur be from Animal? Thinking black bear? And I need the hyperfocus. Yes, I'm good at that. There, I think we are done for tonight actually. What's your favorite album by Blue Oyster Cult, Emma? Mine is Imaginus. Such an amazing album. Just, it's so cryptic, it's mystic. It's got it all. I'll adjust this a little bit. Oh, Nosferatu. Oh, that's a good album too. I think it's Secret Treatise, maybe? It's one of their earlier albums. Maybe? Or is it Agents of Fortune, maybe? Oh yeah, I had a little gap here from yesterday. I trimmed the models too close. Oh, it is Secret Treatise. Is that your favorite album, or is it the song that's it's on? Let's see if we can fill in this tiny little gap. And then I think we're done. It's a bit too big. I think so too. The early stuff is really good too. And their latest album, The Symbol Remains, like, holy hell, these guys are in their 70s and they still can put out great music. I think The Alchemist is one of my all-time favorite songs they made, and it's on their latest album. 'Cause it was I, the alchemist, creator of your fears. I, the sorcerer, outlived 1,000 years. Yeah, every album had different some good bangers to it. Harvest Moon. Oh, what album's that? What's it called? It's not Club Ninja. That was in the 80s. Oh, sorry. Out of frame. I think it's pretty cool though that the US Air Force, they have one of those AC gunships, and it's named after one of the Blue Oyster Cult's song, Don't Fear the Reaper. That's pretty cool actually. I was supposed to see them at 2020, but then the world ended, so unfortunately it was their European tour was cancelled. And I read recently they are making materials for new albums as well. I can't wait for it, and I hope they make a little European tour. I mean, they're getting up in their age now. I understand if they don't have the energy anymore to make tours and such. But oh boy, if they ever make a European tour and they come to Sweden, I mean, I'll take out my vacation days. I'll do anything to see them. There, I think we filled in the gap nice and easy. When I'm in my 70s, I hope I have so much spirit and energy in me like these guys do. Like, wow, they still got it. It's beautiful. There, we managed to patch up the hole nice and easy. There we go. I'm gonna adjust the focus manually. So there we go, guys. 2 little Vostroyans with fur boots, apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. I'm very happy about these guys. So good. So good. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. Maybe I can patch up this little missing piece on the rifle here. A crazy teeny amount of green stuff. It's really starting to cure. Oh, it doesn't want to be worked with. fact, my grandmother getting out of bed in the morning. Oh, I don't want to. Oh, I don't want to. Come on. Get in there. Come on. Come on. I think my green stuff has clocked out for the evening. Yep, it's clocked out. Definitely clocked out. It doesn't want to do it anymore. Oh, now you're stuck in there, huh? Now you decided to stick. There we go. It's not much, but managed to put some in maybe. I don't know. Looks like crap. Oh. Well, I have to see how it looks when it's dry. Whew. Oh, that'd be so cool seeing Dio. What's the album? Rainbow? When he sang Stargazer. That's so cool. So cool album. How late is getting for you? It's 2:11. Really late. And I'm looking forward to sleep. And I think we've been really productive. Cranked out 2 fantastic miniatures tonight. And I couldn't have done it without you guys. Can we patch this up before we go to bed? I think I can just use my finger to smooth it out, maybe. Maybe I can use my scalpel to just finish this last little piece. I cut this too close yesterday. But yeah. See how it looks when it's dry. You can always sand it down. Part of the learning process, if nothing else. That'll do. All right. Thank you so much for keeping me company this night. It's been great having you with me, making these cool little miniatures. I'm gonna show them to you one last time. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I saw something I can fix. Okay, that was easy. Yeah, always fun to show you my works. And I hope I can teach you something and inspire you to get into the kit bashing, or at least the model building hobby. It's super fun. What do you think? Did you think your hat is too small? Maybe it's a bit too small. I don't know. We'll see when it's dried. Yeah, one last detail. And Naz, I got Lana Dot. Been 2 rough hours of me just working intensely. Ooh. Oh, Naz, I'm happy you like my streams. It warms my heart. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Fungi, do you mind sharing what the streams of 40k people are now? Yeah, go ahead, share. I hope they can find some use for them. Maybe they can learn something about sculpting and kit bashing. Great. Okay, everyone. I wish you a happy day. Good night, wherever you are. So stay safe and take care until the next time. Goodbye. I'm gonna sleep so good tonight.